Happy fall, y'all! To commemorate my first fall, I am making a Hello Fall balloon garland. Welcome back to Bubbly Balloon Co. My name is Rachel and I'm going to be your host on today's journey into fall. This being my first autumn not living in Florida, let's give it a chance. I don't know, maybe the leaves changing color, falling, maybe it's going to be a whole beautiful, evocative, make me cry from within when I find PSLs out in the wild. I don't know. Now, before we jump straight in, I just want to take a quick second and say it is so awesome to see this community being built around something so fun and beautiful as balloons. I want to give a special shout out and send some long distance love to these new friends I've been making recently who I know I can count on anytime there's a new video. They're going to be one of the first ones in the comment section, sending me some love, tell me what they thought. So I want to give a special shout out to Henry, Bridget, Jennifer, Crystal, Tracy, Yolanda, Oksana, Al, Angie. Thank you guys so much for being some of my first supporters and commenters. It really means a lot to me to see feedback from you guys every time I post a new video. I love getting that love from y'all, so thank you so much. I love that I'm starting to recognize some of you guys who are commenting a lot. It really feels like we are starting to build a bubbly community, and it means a lot to me. And for those of you who have been watching along but you haven't yet started commenting, today's the day. Go ahead and drop a hello fall down in the comments and say hi. Okay, mushy gushy aside, let's get back to business. Now, honestly, you guys, there's so many beautiful fall themed colors that I had a little bit of a hard time choosing what to do because I wanted to encompass fall, and I have probably 12 colors in mind that I wanted to use, and I really had to narrow it down, and I'm gonna share my trick for you on how to do that. Now, if you're someone who buys a kit off of Amazon or Etsy or something like that, this might not be the best trick for you, but for those of you who collect stock, just like I do, this is what I always do when I am trying to finalize a palette or kind of envision it if I can't quite picture it. What I do is I take one of each of the colors that I'm kind of thinking with, and I blow them up and put them together and see what they look like. Now, I had a lot of other colors in mind, but when I saw these three together, I got rid of all the others and said, this is it. This trio spoke to me. Originally, I had wanted to do a mix of a whole bunch of different browns for this, or maybe a nice mustard or kind of rusty burnt orange. But when I saw these three together, that was it for me. It was over. I put away all the yellows and oranges for later, and this is what I was starting with. So then I wanted to get an accent color in here. I've got some of these dollar store things I hope to add in later. And I was torn because usually for fall, I use copper. It's my go-to accent color in fall. Really obsessed. That's what that looks like. But honestly, when I was playing with it, I got out this gold. And another part of my tip here is when you do inflate these, if you're gonna use one color more than another, blow it up bigger or blow the other colors up smaller, even better. For me, for this, I'm gonna be mixing them all evenly, so it's no problem. But when you're bringing out an accent balloon, I'm only gonna be using a couple of these, every so often. I don't want this to have equal weight when I'm looking at this and deciding on the colors. I wanna keep it small, petite, and just kind of get that balance in there and see how that looks, okay? If I had blown this up full size, it would be so overpowering. Anyway, I hope that helps. So I got out this gold, and you guys, I have to tell you, I think this is the clear winner. And I was outvoted. I put this up as a poll in an Instagram story, and I was clearly outvoted. Copper was overwhelmingly the winner. So I agree, copper is an amazing color for fall. I do think it's the wrong choice for this creation, but you know what? I asked for it, you guys decided, so I'm gonna be working with what y'all gave me. So I'm going to be using Tough Dex Blush. I have 24, 17, 11, and 5 inch. I'm going to be using Calisan in the color Standard Chocolate Brown, both 5 inch and 12 inch. In Jamar, I have a Mocha. This is going to be 5 inch and 12 inch as well. And you guys voted for it. If y'all don't already follow me on Instagram, go on over there. I've been super bad about Instagram in the past, but I swear I'm trying to get better. So I did a poll in my story recently on whether I should use gold or copper as the accent in this creation. You guys voted copper, so that's what I've got. This is the Qualtex Chrome Copper. I have 7 inch and also 11 inch. And then I have some decorations here from the dollar store. These are just little cute ribbons I thought would be fun to play with. And then also these glittery leaves. Hey, y'all ready to get to making or what? Now, since I'm going to be doing kind of a mixed color garland, all the colors together, not color blocked, what I'm going to do next is take on a handful of each color balloon that I'm going to be using for the main portion and prep those for inflation. I am gonna save all of my 5 and 7-inch balloons for accenting at the end. I will inflate these separately. Right now I'm just gonna get out the balloons for the main portion of the garland. So all of these can just get set to the side. And I am gonna add in just a few copper to be worked in there because I don't necessarily want all of my accent balloons on the outside at the end. I do wanna have it kind of like ribboned throughout, and then I can also add in more in my accent details at the end. Does that make sense? So I have all of my balloons laid out here, and you can see I still do have them separated by color just because I'm an organized beast by nature, and I do kind of like to be conscious about what color I'm choosing next, but honestly these could all be mixed together and be totally fine as long as I kind of space out my larger balloons. It'll be beautiful. But that's just how I like to do things. Y'all know I'm a little too organized sometimes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab any 2 balloons, different colors, different sizes, doesn't really matter. Mix and match how I want. I'm gonna inflate them at the same time to slightly different sizes. Now I'm gonna gently press on them, let out a little bit of air if I need to. Make it nice and round and bubbly like that. All right, go ahead and wrap those necks around each other. Give it a little tie. Boom, pull it tight. And that's my first pair. Make another one. Now doing the 2 together twist method that I cover in so many of my tutorials, we're gonna take the 2 pairs, put the middles together, and twist one from each side to make it a little quad. And there's my first quad. How stinking cute is this? One tip I can share is that as I'm going through and mixing and matching along the way, I want to make sure that somewhere along the line in the garland that I've blown up each color balloon to like the different size ranges. Like so far most of my blushes have been a little bit larger. I've obviously got the 17 blushes. So this one I made a point to make it kind of smaller. A lot of my mocha colored so far have been smaller, so I made this one a little bit larger. Like you're gonna want to see all the different sizes of all the different colors as you're looking through this garland, rather than having it be like all of the mochas are 11, all of the blushes are 9s, all of the, you know, dark browns are 16s. Like you want to see a variance in each color all the way through. Now that we've inflated everything, the next thing to do is assemble. Now you might have noticed that this looks a little different than usual. What I did today was actually quads, so little sets of 4 balloons, rather than I normally do like 6s and 8s, like larger clusters. That's because I'm doing a smaller garland and I don't want it to be so big and bulky. I want to have a little more freedom, a little more control over how I build it out. So I could have done these just in pairs, but I went for actual quads. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 1/60s to start tying these together, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is a 1/60. It is smaller than a 2/60. It inflates to 1 inch wide and 60 inches long, okay? And because I'm not doing something huge today, I don't need like reinforced support. I'm totally fine with using this to tie my little quads here together. So the first thing to do is wrap it through the starting point, okay? I did a couple different angles there, and I'm gonna give it a good tie, and of course, I'm gonna double knot because why not? I like added security, I like less anxiety. Maybe I'm weird. I've got this end here. I'm just gonna kind of grab any quad that catches my eye, anything I think is gonna look good, and I'm gonna start kind of connecting them, wrapping this around 1 or 2 balloons to tie them in, and then I can kind of reshape it as I go or wait until it gets on the wall. So now that I've got this on here, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick out any old quad I wanna add to it. I'll put them close together. I'll wrap this around 1 or 2 balloons in the new quad, and that's gonna allow me a lot of freedom to reshape and really make sure this goes how I want it to. So let me take this guy here sitting on top. Right, I'm gonna get it, not gonna go too close. How about, I think like that looks pretty good. Ooh. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. There you go, just like that. Simple little wraparound, and that's the beginnings of our cute little garland. Now this is super easy to rotate, adjust, reposition, and that's why I love using 260s and 160s. All right, so let's take one that's got a 17 on here, start getting those bad boys in order, and give it a little wrap, maybe even a second one if you want, and there we go. So there you go, that's now the beginning of our fall garland. Okay, taking another one here. Alrighty, just like that. Then I'm just over halfway through my first 160 here. So I'll keep adding a couple in, and when it gets to that point, I will tie another 160 on here to extend on, and let me continue. How cute is this little guy? I'm obsessed with these colors. Okay, so this is about a 5 to 6 foot garland at this point, and look how good it looks with all those different sizes in there. I think it adds such dimension and variance, and it makes it so much more exciting. Now I do have a little bit left of my 160 at the end, okay, right here. Now I could just snip that off, but I'm actually gonna leave it just as is for hanging. That means I don't have to attach any, an extra 160, 260 fishing line, whatever, to hang it from. I can just use that. So I'm gonna go ahead and inflate just a few little 5-inchers here to detail and accent with, and then we'll get to hanging. Now for those of you who have been around a while, can one of you take pity on the newcomers? Let them know in the comments down below what on earth I'm doing with this. Now if you guys watched my how to detail with small balloons video, you know I've been going very light lately on little guys. So I'm only gonna be doing a few in each color for starters, and if I need more, I could always add more. But let me just do a couple in each color. Now instead of separating out the little guys by color, I am gonna inflate them all together, but I'm only gonna be inflating in pairs and also in singles. And if you want more on that, go ahead and watch this video somewhere around here that goes into detail on how to detail. Now the other great thing about this method of detailing with small balloons is that you can confidently do it at the time you build the garland and assemble the garland. You don't have to wait until it's up in place. I mean, in a perfect world, yes, you want to wait. You want to at least save some for the very end to make sure once it's up, it doesn't look different than you think it will. That's definitely best practices, but there's certainly those jobs where you're in a crazy time crunch and it's in a third-party venue and they say you have, 20 minutes to set up, and you're like, cool, that's totally doable. So in those situations, you can confidently use this method to put your mini balloons on ahead of time, and then all you have to do is hang and walk out of there, or add in a few extras if you want. Now this cutie is going to be going right on the wall, so bear with me while I get set up. So to hang, I'm going to be using the nail and the couple of command hooks that are already on my wall, and I promise you it couldn't be easier. It's ridiculous. So I already have the edge of, the end of my 260 hanging out on this side of the garland. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach a 160 to each of the other 2 attachment points and wrap it through a bunch of balloons like this. Now that I have my 2 ends secured, I have a pretty good idea about how I want to hang up this middle, where I want to support it, how I want to reshape it. So I added another 160 onto that command hook, and I'm just going to work with the garland. Something like this. Grab that 160. Woohoo! Gently pull it through several balloons, preferably from different quads, so it's nice and supported, and just wrap it several times. There we go. And just like that, it's hung. So now I'm just gonna go through and kind of reshape and move it around a little bit. Once I'm happy with the general shape, it's gonna be time to add in my detail balloons. And of course, once I'm happy with how it looks in person, I'm gonna look at it through the camera lens to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, I like that we've got a little variance in shape. We've got some lifts, some falls. I kind of like that. Once that's looking good, it's time to add in all of my detail balloons. All right, let's grab some small balloons. All right, now using my 260s, I'll take either a pair or a single balloon. I'll tie it to one end of the 260. Take either a pair or a single, tie it to the other end. On something as dainty and delicate as this, I don't want to see like leftover ends. So I am going to cut that off so that it's not visible. And now I want to look and see where I want to place them. To be honest, there's not too many areas that look really naked or empty to me that I feel like I need to like shove stuff in there. So once I'm happy with how it looks with the naked eye, again, I will go look through the camera lens, make sure I'm not missing anything, that it looks great on camera and in person. On this one, that bit of 260 is visible, so I'm going to cut that off. I should have done it beforehand. Right. And that's a basic fall garland, but you know I'm not done yet. One of my very favorite things to do, whether I'm doing creations or kit reviews, stuff like that, is to challenge myself. Once I've built a basic garland, how much better can I make it in less than 20 minutes for less than $20 of materials? So today I have some cute fall themed ribbon and leaves that I got at the dollar store. All in, it was about $5. So I'm definitely under budget on the $20. Let's see how much I can do in less than 20 minutes. All right, so now I need to decide if I want to use one of these, both of these, neither of these. It's the gold, 1000%, it's the gold. I think this is only like 9 feet of ribbon, which isn't that much when we're gonna do something large with it. So I think I'm gonna cut off in chunks, probably about like this, and just start draping it and see how that looks. All right, I folded it in thirds, and now I'm gonna try and see what I can do to kind of wind this through a bit. Now I want this to look a little bit natural, free-form, free-flowing. I'm just kind of tucking the ends in wherever a balloon hits another balloon to kind of hold it in place and letting it just kind of wind its way and drape and flow. Now the idea with this is obviously going to be leaves falling, right? We have a fall themed garland. The ribbon itself is leaves falling. So I want to keep it flowing down. I don't really want to, go up above the garland. I kind of want to let it drape and fall down just to keep it in alignment with that theme we have going. So up here is where I feel like it could really use some. So let me try this. Again, putting that end in between 2 balloons. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Okay, I'm down to my last little stretch here of this ribbon. And if I can be honest, I can't even tell if I like this or not, but it's definitely different. So I want to keep playing with it and see if I can make it cute. So I ran out of ribbon and all it got me was these like couple little touches on here. So I kind of regret not buying a second or third roll in the same design because I think that's perfect for this look. But let me add on my little glitter leaves and see if that does what I'm missing or if I have to get creative. All right, I'm happy to rethink this already. So these leaves have a little clip on the back and I was trying to do something that didn't work. So what I'm going to do is clip it to the end of my 160 here. Make sure that dangles and holds. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna use this 160 to try and attach the leaf in here without it being visible, and without this leaf popping anything. That might be too much to ask for. That looks good, right? This is proving tougher than I thought, and I'm already about 10 minutes down, so I have to hustle. Let me quickly try to hang the rest of my leaves and hope it comes out okay. And that's a wrap on the Hello Fall garland. To be honest, I really liked the plain version, and I can't tell if I prefer this one or the original. So I'm gonna put up 2 pictures. You guys let me know down below, do you prefer the original version or the 2020 version? That's gonna be it for today's video. I'm wishing you guys a very happy fall and beyond. If you have any questions for me, you know what to do, leave them down below. Hey, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a little thumbs up action, subscribe if you want to. New videos Tuesdays, Fridays, you know the drill. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Now doing the 2 together twist.